laid back, mellow morning. It's okay. We're going to go and stand up. He's just going to start playing. He'll just play through it until we get the words up there. This is the welcome song. Go ahead and stand up, and we're going to sing it. And we'll guide you through.
I'm out of town all the time, but I come occasionally when I'm in town. It's nice to see you.
How are you doing?
Glad you're here. Hey, David.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you.
Oh, not this weekend. Good morning. Good morning. You ready to Mary, stop.
Happy holidays, a blessed Christmas, and a very happy, healthy New Year to all of you and all of you that you hold dear. Let us say together our opening statement. It can also be found in the bulletin and up here on the wall.
There is only one presence and one power in my life and the universe. God the good.
This beautiful candle represents that sweet divine Christ essence within each and every one of us. Let us say together our vision and mission statements.
Centered in God, we inspire spiritual transformation, creating a world of love, peace, and prosperity. We are an inclusive spiritual community, inspiring, awakening, and serving in love.
Wow, we actually have a fine little boy with us for the children's blessing. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. And let's not forget that inner child within each and every one of us. And all the precious children, babies in our lives, in our families, and all over the world. Let us say together,
We love you, we bless you, and we behold the Christ in you. We
We accept you just the way you are. Walk in beauty. You are divine.
We're going to go ahead and stand up and sing another song. It's number 272 in your red book. The words are also up here. You came upon midnight prayer, so go ahead and stand, please. He came upon the midnight clear, that glorious song of old, from angels bending near the earth to touch their hearts of gold. He sung the earth goodwill to men from heaven's gracious scheme. The world in sorrow stillness lay to hear the angels sing. Still through the golden skies they come, with peaceful wings unfurled, and still their heavenly music flows for all the weary world. Oh, this sad and lonely place, they bend on hovering wings, and wherever glorious battle sounds, the blessed angels sing. For lo, the days are hastening on, our prophet hearts foretold, when with the ever-circling years comes round the age of gold, when peace shall over all the earth His ancient splendors gleam, and the whole world sends back the song which now the angels sing. You may have a seat.
We please sing the gospel.
At this time, we focus on all of the prayers, the requests that have been placed in this box. We know that they are only symbolic of the prayers that we have in our hearts, that we have not written down. And so we open ourselves to that divine power, to that divine God, to that divine mind, to all of the power of healing, healing what needs to be healed, healing from that divine level, letting go of what we think is the right and the best, but asking that divine intelligence within each situation, within each person. Spirit, Father God, you have said before we ask, you have answered. So in our prayer, we are opening ourselves to become aware of the answers that you have for us in all situations. And knowing not just when we are formally praying, but when we simply open our hearts and accept all of the good that is here for us, now and always. And so it is. Amen.
And now, Jackie Williams.
Good morning. The word today is joy. Joy Joy is always just a thought away. While receiving a gift may make me happy, unadorned joy itself is one of the greatest gifts I can experience. Joy lifts my heart. As I exude happiness, others are uplifted as well. Joy may be quiet, such as a tug at my heart I feel when I see a child happily playing. It may be boisterous, like cheered laughter that brings tears to my eyes. Yet all joy is an experience of the heart, an experience of God. Joy is always just a thought away. When I'm experiencing stress in my life, I stop to remember my many blessings. I think of kindness given and kindness received. My spirits are lifted as I recall the good I have witnessed in so many people and circumstances. And from Matthew 2nd chapter, 10th verse, when they saw that the star had stopped, they were overwhelmed with joy.
Thank you so much.
And this is the fourth Sunday of Advent, and the word is joy.
Yes.
Meditation on joy. The birth of Jesus must have brought Mary and Joseph indescribable happiness. Their joy was all the sweeter for the hardships they had endured on their trek to Bethlehem. When I'm going through a hard time, I remember that joy awaits me on the other side. Joy is the essence of spirit energy in me. It may be subdued at times, but it's always there. Ultimately, it cannot be suppressed or denied. As I open my heart to God, joy bursts out and gratitude flows in. I remember that no matter how dark the night may be, joy comes in the morning. And from John, I have said these things to you so that my joy may be in you and that your joy may be complete.
Thank you very much, Jackie. Let us still our minds, empty our laps, and prepare ourselves to say our blessed word prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. And give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever. Amen.
Move even deeper into that place of connectedness and oneness. Breathing in, knowing that the word breath is the same as the word spirit. Breathing in, inspiring, being inspired. Breathing in, inspiration. Focus on that inspiration. Moving into all cells of your body. I am inspired by the health, the light, the joy, the love of God. With every breath I take, I don't even have to tell myself to breathe. My body knows to take in all good things. And as I breathe it in, I am a center of multiplying. I multiply that love, that joy, that light, that health. And I breathe it back out. We are here. We are a group. As we as individuals multiply this divine energy, we as a group are multiplying it even more. And we are not alone in breathing out love and peace and joy. We reach out and touch all of the souls, all the people we do not know about, who are also in this place of divine connection. Visualize that connection. Our master teacher said, "You are the light of the world. We are the shining light." Visualize this light radiating out into a globe that encompasses the world, encompasses the universe, encompasses the multiplicity of universes. We are the light. We are in the light, we are of the light. And as you bring it back to your center place, visualize that divine light in your heart, that Christ essence. As we move into the silence, experiencing our divine connection in the silence. Take another breath. Bring your consciousness back to this place. Opening any desires in your heart that you have to that divine presence. Opening it up, allowing, surrendering, letting go. Knowing that divine power, that God within us, that God that is all that is, has all the resources, allows it to flow through us as needed, allows it to flow to us as needed. Spirit, we let go of our anxieties. In this moment, being here now, letting go. In this moment, we are peace. In this moment, we are love. In this moment, we are faith. And in this moment, we are joy. And our joy is made full. And we say, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, God. So it is. And as we grow in our understanding, we continue to make it so. Amen. Good morning. Good morning. I'll get upstairs and hide it. Tonight we're going to have our candle service, and the table with the candles will be down there, so nobody has to walk up and down these stairs as we're holding fire in our hands. Oh, you know, through this whole holiday season, those of you who are on Facebook have probably been seeing, I don't know how it's coming across in other media, but all this process between saying Happy Holidays and Merry Christmas. Well, you know, I'm celebrating happy holidays because I told you last Sunday, the day before, I had celebrated Hanukkah with my Jewish friends. And Friday, I celebrated the new prayer service at the Islamic Center with my Muslim friends. So, you know, these holy days are so expanded. And yes, I'm celebrating the idea of Christmas, of the joy of the Christian holidays. But there are so many other holidays that happen around this time of year. And today, well, you know, I'm not really sure, is it today, is it tomorrow, is it the 22nd? But we're celebrating solstice. And why is Christmas here? Why is Christmas on the 25th of December? It's not because Jesus was born on the 25th of December. We have no idea when Jesus was born. But it was the solstice. It was a pagan holiday. It was Saturnalia, which is a different pagan, I to say a pagan holiday. You know, the whole pagan belief system is multiplied. It's out there. It's so many. And so when everybody says put the Christ back in Christmas, we need to say, well, why are we complaining? We took on all of your celebrations. We took on your Christmas tree. We took on your Yule log. We took on your holly. We took on your ivy. So this is a blessed time of so many people celebrating. And I feel so grateful that I live in a town and have made connections over the years with people of all these different faiths that I can celebrate with. And just one other, I have several atheist friends, and so one of them had put out there on Facebook, and I didn't see the original, but he said, I'm really waiting for, you know, the slams and people saying bad things. Evidently the atheists in this community have a real challenge with certain people. So I just wrote back because he knows me, and I said, well, you know, I'm a Christian, I'm a minister, and I support you in your belief system and however you go about that, and I wish you all the happy holidays and however you choose to celebrate. So hopefully you got a few more of those messages like that, because isn't that what we're about? Isn't that what unity is about? You know, and when we're talking, you know, this is our third week focusing on the Lord's Prayer. And so when we say that word, when we begin it, you know, our Father, Jesus could have said, okay, now here's how y'all pray. You say, okay, my Father who is, but he said, no, it's ours. Can we say ours and exclude anybody? So we just need to know that. And in unity, we know that we are a path, not the path. This is a path that works for each one of us. So, what did Charles Fillmore, Papa Charlie, what he had to say about the Lord's Prayer? It is a continual affirmation from beginning to end. So think about that. All of the words are affirmative words. There is tremendous prospering power in affirming the Lord's Prayer instead of taking it for granted and breezing through it in the usual 15 seconds. Think about it. Speak it over and over slowly, deliberately, authoritatively, and you will feel its electrifying, energizing, transforming effect upon you. Repeating the Lord's Prayer is a great success formula. We think about that? You know, we tend to be into prosperity and think about that. Saying the Lord's Prayer is a great success formula for invoking healing, peace of mind, vitality, right action in one's affairs, prosperity and guidance, as well as a great power for breaking up and dissolving hard conditions quickly. So when we have those situations, so this is a process, you bring that energy in to dissolve, to break up those situations. As you use it daily, this great prayer may even shock you into greater good than you have ever known. Whew. Think about it that way. So, anybody here been up to Unity Village? Anybody here? What happens at 11 o'clock every day, Unity Village? There's a recording. Charles Fillmore speaking the Lord's Prayer. And they do that because that's what he did every single day he was alive at Unity, was to speak the words over the loudspeaker system so everybody could hear him. It kind of gives you goosebumps when you hear his voice, or those of us who were never fortunate enough to meet him or to know him. So I said this is the third Sunday we're focusing on the Lord's Prayer. What do you say? You could say it in 15 seconds, you know? We've been going at it for 3 or 4 hours now. And you all have a handout which has, the first thing on there is the Aramaic Prayer. I'm using the book Setting a Trap for God by Rocco Errico is where a lot of this is coming from. And so his prayer is, Our Father who is everywhere, let your name be set apart. Come your kingdom. Let your desire be, as in the universe, so on earth. And do not let us enter into temptation, but separate us from error. For belongs to you the kingdom, the power, and the song and praise, from all ages, throughout all ages. So as we've been doing this exploration, we've discovered that the Lord's Prayer is anything but simple. You know, it's one of the first prayers that we learned, so we think of it in this very simplistic process. These few lines encompass nearly all the teachings of Jesus. So as you've known, as I brought in this quote and that quote to give examples, this is how he taught this in other places in his teachings. They are deep and rich and create sincere and meaningful connection with the divine creative force. So we think of the power of this prayer and what we're thinking about. And also, and this just kind of dawned on me when I was working on this week. You realize the Lord's Prayer is not a Christian prayer? Think about it. Jesus was not a Christian. He was Jewish. He was a Jewish teacher. He was talking to Jews. There was no such thing as a Christian in this time. There is nothing that uses terminology that is unique to Christianity in this prayer. In fact, all of these phrases are gathered from teachings in the Hebrew Bible and other Jewish writings. So this is a prayer in how it's used that anybody can use because it's not defined. And I thought, wow, that feels really good. This is far more universal because we don't think about it in that universal sense. So today we're going to explore, so we've gone through Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. So today we are focusing on provide us our needful bread from day to day. So give us this day our daily bread. And then the second one we're going to be looking at and free us from our offenses, as also we have freed our offenders. So we're going to look at both of those. So provide us our needful bread from day to day. Give us this day our daily bread. So I heard this comment somewhere fairly recently, and somebody said, and I think the first response was, the first comment was kind of snarky. It was probably on Facebook. Well, if Jesus is teaching us to pray for good things, why did he just say your daily bread? Why limit it to bread? And and maybe you as a child might also have thought that, not from a snarky point of view, but just, well, why simply bread? And then I saw a very serious response that said, well, we're asking God to provide us with survival. The rest of it is up to us. Ooh, that doesn't sound like a community like, does it? Well, let's explore this a little bit. So, from the Middle East point of view, even today, but even more so back in ancient times, and it wasn't just the Middle East at that point in time, any place where people made bread. Bread was the essence of life. Bread, okay, you can have bread today or not have bread. And we got people who are not doing wheats and they're not eating bread. Bread is not considered anything that is particularly important to us. Okay, if you've got nothing else to eat, there's a piece of bread left, you know, okay, I'll eat that. That's not the way it was. Bread was this amazing source that came from the divine, however you looked at that divine source out there, whether it was the earth mother, or whether it was the Jewish Yahweh, whoever your God, understanding of God, bread was that source of life. So when you ask for bread, you are asking for this amazing process of living. And I put this little poem on your handout that I like. Back of the loaf is the snowy flour. Back of the flour is the mill. Back of the mill is the wheat, and the shower, and the sun, and the Father's will. I thought, wouldn't that be a great table blessing? That's just, it kind of encompasses it all. So, and bread was very symbolic. So, if you had enemies out there, but for some reason, they came to your door and you put bread on the table, there was no enmity at that point in time. They talked about treaties, bread and salt treaties. So salt would be the other thing that was absolutely required for life. So if there's bread and salt between you, you understand that in that time, in that space, you are at peace. So has this other amazing process. This was part of the everyday life at that point in time. And again, I've heard recent stories of people who are out in the desert with some of the dead ones, and if there is bread between you, you are safe. You are at peace. Now, in the reality of this process, so if you are an enemy in reality, you are safe for 3 days in that camp. But if you know what you're about, before that third day, you're going to head out. But keep in mind, this bread has this amazing process. So also symbolically and metaphysically, it represents ideas and prosperity. It refers to truth, to teachings, to understanding. So when we say, give us this day our daily bread, we're asking for heavenly bread. We're asking for that divine thought, for that kingdom, that heavenly counsel to be with us from day to day. And when we think about the Last Supper, so here we have the communion table, which is very different from what Jesus shared with his disciples. So when he said, eat this bread in remembrance of me, he wasn't talking about doing something special, okay, and when you gather and you say, okay, they didn't know it was the Last Supper actually at that point in time. Jesus probably had a good idea, but that isn't what they were doing. They were celebrating Passover. And so he was saying, when you eat bread, remember my teachings. When you sit down at breakfast and you eat bread, when you sit down at lunch, when you are having your snack, anytime you eat bread, remember me. Not, we're going to have this wonderful, amazing ceremony, and depending on whatever denomination or whatever you belong to, you can come up here and partake, but no, not you guys. That's not what Jesus was saying. He was saying, this universal substance, remember my teachings. So it means whatever we're doing in life, remember the teachings. And what are the teachings? And you have to think about, what am I learning? What have I done? What was the most important law when they asked him? What did he say? Love God with all your heart, soul, and mind. And the second is like unto it, love your neighbor as yourself. Which has, love your neighbor. So there's, who is my neighbor? And we have the whole Samaritan story and everything. But what's the second half that we have to keep in mind? As yourself. And we can look at self both as, here we are as human beings. Do I love and appreciate myself, and do I have a sense of my own value? And we can also, this self with a capital S. that divine self. So I love my neighbor as I love that divine self that is part of me. So we think about that. And then here's this, so when you look at the whole chapter in Matthew, the 6th chapter of Matthew, there's a whole lot of information that includes in the book of Matthew the Lord's Prayer, but then it is followed by, and why do you worry about clothes? See how the flowers of the field grow. They do not labor or spin. Yet I tell you that even Solomon in all his splendor was not dressed as one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today, and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, will he not much more clothe you, O you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all of these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore, do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough troubles of its own. So when he's saying, give us this day our daily bread, well, he's saying all needful things will come to us. And then the underlying message, so do we all know this phrase? Be here now. Be here now. So many, many spiritual teachings have that. You know, you're here now, in this present moment, are aware of all the good. So when we think about, give us this day our daily bread, and seeking first the kingdom. What does the kingdom mean? So the kingdom is that divine counsel, is that heavenly place. It is both within us and all around us. So we receive it, but to receive it, we do have to receive it from within. We do have to be open enough to receive all the gifts that are out there. So now we come to the second phrase. And as I've said many times from up here, you realize how scary this phrase is. And free us from our offenses, as also we have freed our offenders. Forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Or forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. You really, really think about what those words are meaning. What are the operative words? Forgive as we forgive. That's not a setup, I never heard one. So if I'm in a place of non-forgiveness, if I'm in a place out there of putting people down or whatever that looks like, you know, I'm saying to that divine energy within me. Now, realize the overall divine essence, that divine mind is not in the forgiveness business. We are children, we are beings that are learning, but what does forgive is that higher self, that divine within us. So that's what that personal understanding of the divine within us. Because if I'm out there being unforgiving to others, that energy, that power in me is going to be holding me in that place of unforgiveness. So we think about that, and what does that mean? And how do we hear this in other places? You're familiar with the word karma? Now, we tend to think of karma related to negativity. You know, if you do something bad's going to come to you either now or in another life. But what is really, if we just used a different word for karma, what word might we use? How about consequences? Consequences. Karma is about consequences. If I do something bad, at some point it's going to come back to me. When I do good things, at some point it comes back to me. And a lot of times that point is when I do something really negative. Do I know that inside of me? Do I know that? Do I experience that in the moment? Absolutely. And the same gift is when I do something good, whether I'm thinking about it in any particular way or not. Yes, that inside of me knows that and experiences that for me. And so then the other phrase is, what goes around comes around. You know, a lot of people don't realize when they're throwing out these phrases that what they're talking about is, you know, I have responsibility here. So any of those phrases say, when I choose. So there's the power place. When I choose, and I get to choose. Am I doing something negative? Am I doing something positive? You know, I get to choose that process. I get to choose what comes around. Yeah, that's for me. So, you know, we talk about forgiveness a lot here. So I got thinking about, okay, how can we look at this maybe in a little bit different way? Usually when we think about forgiveness, we're talking about people out there. But what about situations? Can we be in a place of unforgiveness around situations? And we had an experience on Friday, so 4 of us were downstairs painting our lower classroom. It's not the basement, it is our lower classroom. We all have to keep that in mind. And there's been a lot of work done down there. So we've had mold remediation, we've had new drywall put in, we've had all kinds of stuff put in there. And we were going to go in there and put the primer on and get ready for it to paint. Well, Debbie, is that what happened when we went in down there?
No.
So there was a lot of additional prep work that we weren't expecting. And people were there, so the 4 of us, well, 3 of the 4 of us were there from 10 o'clock in the morning until 5 o'clock that evening, and the only break they took was for lunch. Now, I was gone for 2 hours in the middle of that because I went to the mosque to celebrate with the prayer process. And during any of that time did I hear anybody go, you know, this is so stupid. Why did they let it get like this? Why is there such a mess down here? No, I heard, you know, this is a lot of work. You know, we weren't quite expecting this much to do before we could put this on. But there was no negativity put towards the situation and why it got there. And to me, that is a perfect example of forgiveness of a situation, because it didn't happen on its own. It happened because we weren't paying any attention and we weren't making use of that room. And I use that, you know, globally as the people here in this church, just allowed it to deteriorate to a situation. But there was no, why did they do that? You know, when we do this. So I think about it. Think about, what are the situations in your life? What are the situations that you have ignored and allowed to become something? Oh, I must touch somebody's buttons. You know, it could be something like our health. You know, I'm in that place right now that has to do with my lack of movement for the last year and a half. And I could be beating myself up, or I could do what I'm doing. You know, I got some friends here that got me involved in going down to the heated swimming pool, the therapeutic pool, and just really enjoying that. And I probably wouldn't have thought about it if I hadn't let myself get into a place of, you know, I've got to start doing something that I enjoy that has to do with exercise. So instead of beating myself up, oh wow, look what I received. So we think about our health, and can we say, okay, yes, yeah, there is this situation, but let's not beat myself up because of it. What about relationships? What about relationships? You have relationships with extended family, with immediate family, with partners, with kids, that you just, maybe through carelessness, busyness, you know, all kinds of things, maybe even with deliberate intent. If something happened and there was a lot of negativity, you know, have we let it fall into disrepair, and then we go grumbling about that? Oh, you know what? They really loved me, or, you know, how can I love somebody like, you know, we hear all of that process going on. It could happen in our jobs. Think of all the different situations that we let ourselves get trapped in negativity. And then what's happening to us? So when forgive as we are forgiving, so when I'm in a place of negativity, when I'm holding on that negative energy about whatever it is out there, what's happening inside here? What's happening to my body? What's happening to my heart rate? What's happening to my cholesterol? You know, all of those things that go on because negative energy, you don't even have to look at this in any kind of a spiritual concept. You just think about it in terms of stress. What does negative stress that you don't let go of do to who you are? Now, you think about it. As I begin to let go of this, as I begin to forgive, as I begin to say, yeah, that's a situation out there. Now, maybe a situation that we can't do anything about. You know, we've taken it on emotionally, but it may not be ours to change. But can we say, well, that is a situation, and if it's caused by people, instead of, how could they do that? And again, that's okay. That's okay. Let me just let that be. That is not mine to do at this point in time. That is a process of forgiveness, of letting go. And we hear this so much in the news today. There's so many things that we can just get so caught up. Whatever your political persuasion is, whoever you're looking at or whatever, you can always find something to get you just really upset and your juices flowing and things like that. Ooh, what does that do for me? What is that doing in here? And if I'm doing this stuff inside of me, what is it doing to the people around me? What is it doing when I get in the car and I'm angry because that so-and-so said or didn't say or whatever out there? And then there's that idiot who cut me off or stopped too fast. Or what happens when you go to work with that kind of energy? What happens when you sit down at the table with your loved ones with that kind of energy? So when we begin to think about forgive us as we forgive. And we look at those words, debts, trespasses, however we want to look at those. Those just, they're symbolic words that have to do with anything that we're allowing, that we are holding against somebody or we are holding on to in a negative way. So forgive us as we forgive. So take that in. Breathe that in. And remember, where are we now? What is the word for today? Let's shift that energy. Forgive as we forgive. Okay, we are forgiving. We are putting that joy energy out there. Feel that joy. That joy. So this is the last Sunday of Advent, which means as we move forward to Christmas Day on Friday, you know, keep that joy energy flowing through you. And anytime you think about something that is coming up, you know, let me breathe joy into this situation. I might not even know what that means or how that's going to look. But let me just try that. Let me breathe joy. Let me know joy. You know, I came that your joy may be made full. So we celebrate that reminder of the birth and the rebirth of that Christ energy. It doesn't matter what the real date is out there. What really matters is that symbol of that divine energy within us. It doesn't even matter what names we call it. We call it the Christ energy. We call it higher self. Call it divine love. Whatever that is. Our joy in this amazing and magnificent divine energy that is so great. We cannot possibly understand it. Let's not beat ourselves up with trying to limit it to a box. Let us just know this week we are being reminded God is here and now present. And so,
we're going to go ahead and sing Hark the Herald Angels Sing. The words will be up on the screen. So if you go ahead and stand up, let's wake up, feel that joy and energy. Here we go. Before you go into sleep. Hark the herald angels sing, glory to the newborn King. Peace on earth and mercy mild, God and sinners reconciled. Joyful all ye nations. Just a sweet little song. All Christmas Bell by Fred Boger. Through the still of the evening, a single bell rings as it sounds through the heavens. The angels take wing. It is Christ born to Mary, for whom the bell tolls, and the birth of His Spirit within our souls. The birth of a Spirit 2,000 years old. Come on, men and women, together this night, and rejoice in the shining of His guiding light. It has called both to shepherds and kings of the earth. It has led us to Jesus on the eve of His birth. It is Christ born to Mary, for whom the star glows, and the birth of His Spirit within our souls. The birth of the Spirit 2,000 years old. Oh, isn't that beautiful? It's just really pretty. Oh, I love that one.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you for entertaining me.
All right. Very good. Let us say together our prosperity blessing.
The inexhaustible resource of Spirit is equal to every demand. There is no reality in lack. Abundance is here and now manifest. I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love. I give because I believe in love, and love is given to me. I give because I believe in joy. I give because I believe in joy. I give because I believe in joy, and joy is given to me.
Let us say together our offertory in prayer blessing. Divine love,
Through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Lovingly I give, and lovingly I receive.
is there anyone here who is at Unity for the first time today?
I think they left.
Whatever, we're delighted to have you, and we hope to see you again. And Reverend Carol, do you have any announcements?
I have an announcement.
Oh my gosh.
Wow. Tonight at 6 o'clock, we're going to have our candle service. So I invite all of you and hopefully all of those that didn't come this morning, and if you have friends or visitors or relatives. So 6 o'clock, it will last no more than an hour, maybe a little bit less than that. So come, it will be a very special time.
Yes, very much so.
Wonderful.
And I wanted to thank the youth group for decorating this lovely tree. Great job.
That's lovely.
And thanks to Keegan's not in here, but the littlest one of us all started out, we were halfway through the tree and he started singing a Christmas song. I was like, duh! So we just started with, I was like, see, we had a discussion at youth group after that about what is Santa? Because he's like, oh, I don't know, Santa. I said, Santa is very real. Hello, you were Santa when you started the singing. We're Santa when we give to others. The gift of love is stingy. So it was really cool. It was great leading. So we had a great time doing that. We'll reconvene after the holidays on Thursday, the first
7th,
Thursday.
January 7th.
Thursday the 7th of January. So we'll still plan on meeting upstairs at that point until we know the room is ready downstairs. So that's all I have.
Wonderful.
Oh, and so thinking about the first of the year coming up, so the first Sunday in the new year, whatever that date is, will be our Burning Bowl celebration. So be thinking about that. So that'll be at our Sunday morning service, your opportunity to write out and get rid of that which you want to let go with the new year, and then, write a letter to yourself that says, here's what I want to replace all of that that I'm letting go of. So that'll be
I
the
can
first
start
Sunday.
writing now.
Yeah, I want to give you a heads up, so you can.
And by all means, please plan to attend that Sunday. It is such, I don't know, words escape me, but transformative process and inspiring and lifting up. And so daggone appropriate for the first of the brand new year. All right. Oh, David, yes.
I just want to take a few moments to speak as president of the Board of Trustees. I know I speak for all of us, or I'm not alone in feeling blessed every Sunday when I come here and the doors are open and I have a place to be spiritually nourished. And on behalf of the congregation and the rest of the board, we have a tradition during the holiday season to recognize those that make this possible, that dedicate a portion of their lives to making sure the church runs smoothly and the doors stay open and the lights stay on. So I'd like to just a little token of appreciation to all of our helpers.
Well, thank you.
And also, we were sure to remember Sarah Cunningham, who keeps our space clean and tidy for us when we come here, and also Marlena Guffey, who has agreed to facilitate our children's church, our brand new children's service, and also Kia Ray, who cuts all our checks and makes sure the lights stay on. So thank you all.
Yes.
And also the 2016 Unity calendars are here, and if y'all haven't received one, they're in the foyer on the right, so just be sure and pick one up on your way out.
Oh, thank you so very much, David. All right, any other announcements? Okay.
Please, thank you. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God
community calendars. Always beautiful and so inspiring.
And the cells are big enough to write things like.
Yes. Well, let us say together our prayer of protection. The
light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. The presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God.